to Riri's Talk Show. Today I have a special guest, the hot, sexy, gorgeous Molia. And she is from the Bay Area, y'all. So welcome her to the set today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on to Riri's Talk Show. Now, how long have you been writing music or been singing?
I started writing at around the age of 12. Singing, I'd say, singing, I'd say around the same age, 12 to 15.
Now, when did you start to realize that you have this talent, this gift that must be shared with the world?
I'd say around 15, 16 years old.
Now, what would you say the first music did you write about? What was it about?
I don't remember the name of it, but I do remember that it was a love song. And it's a funny story because my mom, I was a bad kid. So my mom grounded me, sent me to my room, and I came out like a couple hours later. And I told my mom, I said, "Mom, I wrote a song." I showed her my song, and I think that's when my mom started to realize, like, hey, I think she's really got something here. So, since then, my parents have kind of just been managing me. And I mean, even still this day, my parents aren't managing me, but they're still behind me 100%, Funny story.
And what inspired you to write besides the fact that you got grounded? I mean, you've been singing, with family. I mean, I remember your childhood. You used to play the oud with cousins. How did all that start to where you're at now?
I'd say it started in church. I grew up singing in church. Our primary days where we had a group of kids singing together, families singing together, and that's kind of how it came about. But I don't think then I even realized that it was a talent. I was thinking more it was just everybody's singing, I'll just sing, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I was a really shy kid though, so I think I didn't start to realize it until high school.
It's very interesting that every artist or someone who's very musically inclined are either shy, very, behind the scenes, but when they're on the stage, it's your comfort zone and you just go.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I think about that all the time. And people ask me, why are you so shy in person? But when you're on stage, it's like nobody's there. I'm like, I don't know. It's a talent. It's a God-given gift, So it's nothing that I think about. I just do it.
So would you say that you have an alter ego, like, Beyonce has Sasha Fierce? Do you have another person that morphs out when you're on stage?
Sometimes I kind of wish I do, but I honestly, no, I don't. I'm myself when I'm on stage. I don't feel any different at all. I don't feel like I need to put on, a different face or, change the way that I look or how I feel, the way that I don't know, the way that people would perceive me. I don't think I have to change any of that for people to love me,
And I love that. I love that confidence. Now, of course, the topic of our show today is about the artist and me. And people ask, what does that mean? Does it mean that she has somebody else with her? And I love what you just said, that she doesn't have to be anybody other than herself. And that's what she believes in. Now, your music has changed quite a bit, from that 12-year-old girl, the 15-year-old girl, that 16, 18-year-old girl. What type of music were you singing when you first started coming out and you transitioned into other different genre?
Like I said, as a kid, I didn't know anything about relationships, love, but for some reason, love was the first thing that always came to me. It was always a love song. And I think I remember being asked that question before as a kid, and I didn't even have an answer to it. I'm just like, I don't know. That's all that comes to me. It's just love songs. But now it's, I'm older and I've grown and I have more experience. So I have more to write about and talk about. But then, no, it just came to me. It was always love.
Now, what does love mean to you in your own words?
I don't know. It's such an easy question, but it's hard at the same time because I can't explain it. I can't explain love, but I know that it comes from the heart, and that's how I've always taken it.
Now, with that being said, like it is so true that it should be a simple response, right? Yeah. But it's not, because there's so many emotions, so many feelings that goes into that. It's a lot more deeper than what we think. Yeah. And now the music industry. Now, I know that you've got a couple of songs out there and some really, really good songs. I actually do have some favorites, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But how has the music industry been to you?
There's ups and downs. It's been tough. It's been, there's times where, it's kind of smooth, but I think it all just depends, really. It's not like I plan my day to meet new people and, have certain circumstances or situations obviously I plan for it to be positive, but it doesn't always go that way. So
of course you are Samoan, right? Any other mixtures? Are you mixed, half breed, quarter breed?
Samoan, German. My mom tells me Tahitian, but I don't know. We'll never know.
So, because of course we always have the choice to choose which one we want to claim depending on what time it is of the day. Yeah.
I used to tell people in middle school that I was black. So, yeah. Really? I used to. I don't know why, but black, Mexican, or you name it. I grew up, people thought I was like Puerto Rican, half white, half, German. I don't know. But it was never Samoan, never.
Now, one of the cool things that I read about you, or actually heard about you, was that you did a piece with DeAndre. Now, DeAndre was actually on American Idol. Yeah. And he went all the way up to the top, and he was literally a kid you grew up with. Tell us a little bit about that.
Like you said, DeAndre, he's a really good friend of mine. Jam sessions, high school. I sort of grew up with him, but I feel like I've known him all my life. I met him in high school. So that's kind of where the whole thing started. I think he's like 2 years younger than me.
Oh, okay.
But that's how that whole thing started. He loves to play the uke. I think he grew up around the Hawaiian culture. So the ukulele was like one of his favorite, it was one of his favorite accessories. So he'd bring it to school every day, and he'd play it, and he'd just jam. And one day I decided to just join him, and that's how it started. That's how our relationship started.
And that was before he went on to American Idol. Yeah. Right? Now, a lot of inquiring minds, including mine, with the beautiful voice that you have, how come you've never auditioned for American Idol, The Voice, or one of those, for you to actually showcase this talent and gift that you have?
Well, being the stubborn kid that I was, I kind of felt like, as I explained before, that because I already know the music industry. You have to change and be someone that you're not. That's how I've always believed it to be. So just that reason alone, I felt like, being on stage, the judges or whoever, the world would try to put me up on a pedestal, and I would have to live up to that. And I just didn't want to do that. I've never been about competing with other people. It's always been from the heart, and it's always been, my artistry has always been important to me. And it was never about competition at all. It was always just about strictly my artistry, writing, singing, being in the studio. It's just my favorite environment. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to sign any contracts. I didn't want to deal with anybody. So just as simple as that.
Okay. Awesome. Now, Molia, I have to say that I really love the fact that you're confident in who you are and wanting to make sure that authentic person and artist, the gift, the talent, is conveyed to your fans. Yeah. Now, I know things have changed. You've grown throughout the years. Now, what would you tell your fans, about the whole, the weight, changing the image or whatnot? Because right now in the industry, a size 4 is considered a plus size. What would you say to that?
I don't believe in that. You know what I'm saying? I did put on some weight, and, you know, I used to be ashamed to say it, but now I'm not, you know, and I'm not ashamed to say that, you know, if I'm considered a plus size in the industry, oh, well, you know, I don't care. And that's just me. And I feel like I don't have to be someone else to be beautiful. You know, all of these years I was thinking like, you know, oh, I had to put on so much makeup and I had to wear this and that. And somebody had to tell me how to dress and who, you know, like pretty much who to be.
Right.
And that's not something that I believed in. So I think that's probably the one thing that's held me back for so long. But, you know, obviously I've grown, experienced more. So it's gotten a lot easier for me to take in.
It's such a blessing per se, because the industry is very mean.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people out there that are very self-conscious of their bodies and who they are. And I love the fact that you say, you know, to be you, because then if you're putting on clothes that's not you, putting on makeup that's not you, then you're becoming another person. So what's the point trying to be authentic?
Exactly.
Trying to be real if you're being made out to be something other than yourself.
Yeah. I feel like women who do that shouldn't be able to promote themselves. You know what I'm saying?
And I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you're not into makeup like I am, if you're not into high heels like I am, then you shouldn't try to be me.
Yeah.
You should be yourself.
Be yourself. Exactly.
And I love the fact that she showed up being herself today. I mean, although she's going to be broadcasted worldwide.
My bad, everyone.
No.
In advance.
This is, you should not apologize for that because.
Well, I'm not apologizing for myself.
Right.
For all of you out there that.
No, but I'm sure they're like, yay, you go, girl, because, you know, your fans are watching. And this is as real as you can get. Molia right here on Riri's talk show talking about the artist and me, who is herself, being the real person. Now, the projects that you're working on, a whole lot going on, right?
A whole lot going on.
Now, I know that you've worked alongside and have met Chris Brown, currently working and collaborating with people in his circle. We don't have to mention any names or whatnot, but how has that experience been for you?
It's been a really cool experience. I hooked up with Chris's aunt. So she's the one that's kind of been guiding me through the process recently. And it's been going really smoothly.
You know, I'm sure you've learned some of the pros and cons, what to do, what not to do.
Yeah, definitely. I joined them on tour just for a ride along. And it was a really great experience to see exactly the pros and the cons and, you know, like everything that goes on behind the scenes. It's people don't, you know, the outside people don't see. So it was a really cool experience.
I'm sure you're looking into tour, you know, in the future, right? So, I mean, if I'm coming to a concert, I only see the glam, the fame, right? But for you that went on a ride-along, what are some of the things that you've seen that are not positive, some of the things that are not, not so positive? It has nothing to do with the artist per se.
Well, I can tell you that there's a lot of stress going on backstage. There's like things being thrown around, people running around trying to find their spots and find their outfits. It's kind of funny because you don't think about that stuff when you see them on stage. So I don't know. It's just really different. And I just sit back there and I don't know. They stress me out going through all that. You know what I'm saying? That's just how crazy it is backstage. But once they're on stage, all that matters is that everyone's in their place. Everyone's on time. Everyone's doing, you know, what they're supposed to be doing. And it's chaos backstage. You have, you know, different designers, different managers for, you know, because when you go on tour, it's not just the main artist. You have like 10 different artists that go up before the headliner. So you have all of their managers backstage, all of their people backstage. You have their families, their friends, bodyguards. You have their pets. Sometimes they bring their pets. There's just a whole bunch of stuff going on. They have like caterers and there's just a whole bunch of stuff going on.
You know, and I love this about you, Molia, because I've been following you for quite some time. I mean, the fact that, you know, you're literally hand in hand with Chris Brown and you don't utilize him to spin off for you to get a piece of fame. You are who you are. Yeah. You made it there with the support of your family and the friends and those who comes in contact with you.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
And I know you're not the easiest artist to work with. Tell us why.
I'm very picky. Beat-wise, I'm always looking for a certain sound. Always a certain sound. And most producers that I come across, they don't have it. I'm not saying it doesn't mean that they're not good. It's just for my specific sound that I'm looking for, they don't have it. And it's so weird because I for some reason I think I've only come across like 2 producers that I can really, really, really work with. Well,
for those of you producers who are watching my show, because I know you're creeping, and if you're looking up this young lady, you should know that you want to work and collaborate with someone who has a really good, strong head on her shoulders that understands her worth and understands her value. And I believe that's really, really important, especially in such a cutthroat industry, to maintain who you are as not only a woman, but a professional in this field. Now, the big question that I've been waiting to ask her, right? This song that she dropped called It Doesn't Matter.
Does it matter?
Doesn't matter.
Does it matter?
Does it? Oh, I keep saying it doesn't. So
it's okay. That doesn't matter.
Does it matter?
Yes, does it matter?
And if you listen to the lyrics, it caused a major stir up. Females were pissed. People were angry. They were writing her on Soundcloud the most ugliest and dirtiest words that they could ever call her.
Yes.
Now, Molia, what made you record such a song?
Well, I wanted something that, real people could relate to. Not just a typical love song or a typical breakup song. I kind of wanted to switch it up a little bit. I did have a co-writer. His name is Mila. Credit to him. But we're sitting in the studio and we're thinking like, well, we need something different. Something that's going to pop off. Something that's going to make people talk. You hear shady songs on the radio back in the 90s and the 80s, but people nowadays don't really they don't really look at that. But in comparison to that song, I've gotten so much feedback, positive feedback, mainly. It was mostly negative feedback.
Now, I have to ask the question, and I know the audience are wanting to know. Mm-hmm. Is that something you went through in your life at that point in time?
No. Not by experience. I kind of wanted to, I know people that have, I'm not going to say any names.
I know we don't want to put them on blast.
I'm not going to put them on blast. Okay. So, but yeah, I know people that have gone through that situation or something similar to it. So I kind of wanted to put it in a song and have something that they could relate to secretly. It doesn't have to be out in public, That's just what
you know what song it reminded me of, right? When I first heard this song from you, it reminded me of Secret Lovers.
Secret Lovers.
And I know all y'all heads are like, Now, she just sang it in a whole much more authentic and real to the core than the way Whitney sang it. And so that was a big Atlantic Stars. Right, sang Secret Lovers. I want to thank my producers for telling me, Marie, that's not the right artist. So Derek tells you, I'm not that inclined about artists. I just love the songs. This song doesn't matter. And can you tell the audience a little brief snippet, because I want them to listen to it, what it all means, because doesn't matter can go into so many things.
It's pretty much about a woman who has a best friend and she has a man. She cheats on her man, and she goes to her best friend to confide in her and tell her all of the things that she loves about her man and all of the things that she misses about him. But the more and more that she's telling her best friend starts to fall in love with her man.
Oh,
So,
well, actually, I got confused then. So thank you for clarifying
No,
I didn't know that she was cheating on her man.
she cheated on her man, and her best friend sitting there listening to her like, okay, you know, I understand that you cheated, and you know, I'm going to support you, whatever. But meanwhile, she's thinking in her head,
she wants this guy.
I want him, you know, like I want to be with him. He doesn't deserve that, you know, and she's thinking of ways to tell her best friend, but she doesn't know how. So the whole time she's thinking, does it matter?
Wow.
Yeah. So that's the whole concept of the song.
So I just learned something new, y'all. Yeah. And I'm glad I had the artist here to tell me what it all meant, because I initially took it as, here was this girl, you know, confiding into her best friend. I didn't know that the person doing the confiding was actually the cheater. Mm-hmm. And the friend fell in love with her man, knowing that she's cheating on her man with another dude. Uh-huh. Gosh, this could be a soap opera. Maybe that might be my next topic. But wow, okay, that just got me even more excited to go back and listen to it again.
Yeah,
and be
I think once you hear this and you listen back, you'll understand it.
And I think that's where the controversy stirred up, right?
Well, I think it was more of like people thinking that it was me. I'm like, no, hold up. Like, that's not me. You know, like, I don't. But I mean, that's music.
Right.
Like, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. I personally don't like to use my personal life all of the time in my lyrics. But once in a while, I'll throw in like a friend's situation here, or something that I've seen on TV there. You know, it's just a mixture of everything.
I mean, Taylor Swift does it. Mm-hmm. The majority of all her music was inspired by her personal experience. I mean, and that's what they were making fun of, you know, recently, because she just broke up with this guy that's up and coming in Hollywood. And they're like, oh, there goes another song, you know, for Taylor Swift and whatnot. But I think it's really important to actually write about the things that you experience or the things that you've witnessed.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because it's very true. Because when you do sing it, I mean, I'm just a karaoke wannabe singer. I don't know anything about music or whatnot, besides the fact that when you hear them, they either help you transform your life, it helps you ease the pain, or it'll help you move forward. It'll help you fall in love. I mean, when you play nothing but love songs, everybody knows you're in love. But when you start playing heartbreak songs, everybody knows that you've gone through a heart, you know, your heart's been broken, but you don't want to admit it. But your song speaks for it, right?
Yeah.
So with the fact that this, I'm all excited about doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Because at this point, does it really matter? Because you're cheating on your man, you're confiding to me about it, and I'm feeling bad for your man. Like, I need to be with him. He deserves me, not you, because you're cheating on a really good man.
But she doesn't know how to tell her. So that's the messed up part, is she's saying, she's questioning herself, like, does it even matter that, you know, she's my best friend? Does it matter that he gave her a ring? You know, like, does it matter? All of these things are going through her head. And it's just.
Now, does she really cheat? Now, did she get the chance to cheat with him, or she's thinking about being with him?
She's thinking about it.
She's
thinking about it. She didn't cheat.
She didn't be with him.
Thinking about it. But the shadiest part is it's her best friend.
And she's thinking all these things psychologically
in her head,
right? It's a metaphor. Mm-hmm. You know, like she's saying, how could you be with this guy who's so wonderful? He needs to give me the ring, not you. So I love it. I love it. Now, all of you guys are going to run back and go listen to the song again and listen to the lyrics, because there's a major twist here. Even I was caught by surprise, and that's why I'm super excited about it. Now, let's talk about my favorite song that she sang. Okay. Yes, I do have a favorite. And it's the one, is that the only one with the video called Breakdown? Now, I know that one.
Yeah. Well, I kind of freestyled that. It was more, again, coming from my heart, because at the time I was going through heartbreak. So I felt like this was the perfect time to just relieve myself and put it in a song. And that's what happened. I do that all the time, just to let y'all know. So if I'm feeling something, I'd say like 98% of the time I'm going to put it in a song.
And there you go. And that's probably why the fans or your audience thought Doesn't Matter, was literally written by your personal experience, which is absolutely not. Okay. looking for something that pops, and it actually is real. Those things do happen.
They do right now.
Now, are you going to write about love again, breakdown, does it matter? Or are you taking it into a whole different...
Well, yeah, that. I kind of wanted to create an album that was more for like international sounding. I didn't want to do something just pertaining to like one genre or one concept. I guess I kind of want to just throw it. I want it to be like all over the place, so to speak.
Now, I haven't asked you this, but who would you say would be an artist that inspires you? Who would be that person? Do you have a fave out there?
I do. I really love Rihanna. I love her. I love everything about her. Her persona, her her style. I love her style. And I'm a tomboy, but I, for some reason, will, I'm into fashion, and I'm into all that. And it's just, I know it sounds weird, but yeah, that's my favorite part about Rihanna. And the fact that she's really diverse in her music. And that's kind of something that I wanted to bring to the table, because I feel like I can
Now,
do it.
what would you say that voice would be? Are you more in R&B? Because I think she has like Aaliyah's voice, but, and of course she's going to sing for us here live on my show, kind of give you guys a little taste of her flavor. But what would you say if you had to categorize your music? What would you say that would fall under?
I would say R&B. Yeah, R&B is my favorite. I think any genre that I go into, I'm always falling right back into R&B. Always. Every project that I've done so far has R&B. It's like R&B quality.
Yeah,
and it's just something that I.
Because you didn't start off as an R&B.
I didn't. I was into island reggae and alternative rock because of my dad. So. But I think R&B has always been in the heart. Okay. It's always something that I wanted to do.
I'm glad that you brought up the island reggae. Now, of course, as you all know, she is Samoan, the Pacific Islander princess that she is. Now, are you well accepted as an artist amongst your people?
I like to believe that I am. But I mean, you know what? I do get a lot of support from the Polynesian community. That's how I started. That's how my, career began. I started off as Brit. So a lot of people know me as Brit. When they see Molia, they're confused. Like, who are you? And it's not that I wanted to change me. It was just that point in time where I kind of felt like Brit just wasn't good enough. I didn't like the name Brit. So changing it to Molia it was something simple, and I hope that, the Polynesian community can continue to rock with it.
Well, I like the fact that you're actually branding your roots, right? Because Brit, it is your real name, birth name, but the fact that you decide to utilize something that will showcase your culture is critically, extremely important for those Polynesian viewers.
Yeah.
And because I know it's really, really hard to be accepted amongst your own people, let alone the people in your backyard.
Yeah.
Now, how are you doing locally as an artist?
Locally, I'd say I'm doing okay. I kind of stopped performing. I kind of stopped networking in our area in San Jose, mainly because I'm just trying to focus on myself. I'm trying to rebrand myself. I'm trying to find a new image, but something that's still me. There's just a lot of things in there that are kind of just holding me back right now. But I'd say by next year, everything will be back to normal. Gigs in San Jose, everywhere.
So, that's awesome. I'm still kind of stuck on, your song, Does It Matter? Because that was actually a shocker. And ladies and gentlemen, you have to know that my show is not scripted, okay? You're getting it, real, raw, And I tell you, and she's delivering it the way it is. So forgive me if I'm still kind of choked up the fact that, you know, I'm the friend that should be taking your man because you're not treating him right anyways. But, you know, I won't. I'm married. But, but what is up and coming with the projects that you're working on? What's it called? What are you doing? I know already what we can expect from you. Something completely different.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm trying to throw something different out there. Something that I didn't have a part of my EP, which I self-titled MOLIA. I released that last year. And
now, what does EP means for some of those?
Extended play album.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I released that last year. I'd say that's I try to go for like an early 90s, like an early 90s sound of R&B.
We love all that.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I tried to go for that. On that project. My mixtape before that was more island reggae. And now I'm trying to go for something more international. I mean, aside from my album, I've gotten a lot of good feedback on it internationally. So, I mean, that's a really cool thing. But now my new project, I don't want to put I don't have a name for it. I don't have a date for it. I don't want to put a specific genre on it, but I do want to say that I want to give it like an international sound.
Okay. Now, of course, you know, when an artist, you know, takes a break and you just recently dropped an album for free for your audience and for your fans, you know, you're always kind of looking for something better than what you just recently dropped. Yeah. Now, and when you come back, because I know everybody's like, ooh, I wonder what she's got up her sleeve, right? Now, I did have messages and emails if you were single or are you married and are you available?
I'm not available.
Oh, there you go. You heard it from her mouth directly. She is not available. She's off limits, everybody. Now, is the song or the album that's coming up will play a part about your relationship? Because
most likely it will. I can't. It's kind of too early to say, but yeah, most likely it's my day-to-day situations. Sometimes I have a good day. Sometimes I have bad days. You know, obviously relationships aren't perfect. My relationship isn't perfect. So I would also put that into a song. Yeah, it's just it's like a day-to-day thing, like everything that I go through.
And Molia is actually
it's my middle name.
It's your middle name. So it's not a creative name, y'all.
No. It's not something hard to come up with. It was my middle name.
There you go. So because I know the audience and the fans are probably wondering, where did you come up with this beautiful name?
I actually get that question a lot. So
I bet.
Yeah.
Because maybe Disney should have named their movie Molia versus Moana, but you know, whatever. Anyhow, so we are going to listen and hear Miss Molia perform for Riri Talk Show fans. So, you know, we'll turn down the set and we will hand that microphone over. And as I sit here and be her number one fan.
All right, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that she introduced us. Doesn't matter that I hit my own crush. All that matters is you. All that matters is you. Doesn't matter that she told me everything. Doesn't matter that she purchased her a ring. All that matters is you. All that matters is you. Yes.
I'm so excited. I love that. Wow. What a voice. I mean, I'm feeling hot because, you know, I was starting to get into the song, you know, does it matter that he purchased her a ring? Does it, like, yes, it does matter. I want it on my finger instead of you. I need to get off of that one, right? I need to literally leave that alone. Now, Molia, I know that there's a big message that you want to send to the young, aspiring young artist that's coming up, that wants to be in your shoes. What can you give them, or what advice as a career professional artist as you are, that's established, can tell the youngins?
I'd say simply just be yourself, as I always promote. Be yourself. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it. If you believe in yourself enough, you can. Just accept yourself. Don't worry about what others have to say about you. That's not what matters. What matters is what's within you, and just to keep going. Follow your dreams. Dream big, go hard.
I love that. Dream big, go hard. Because guess what? Adele dreamed big, and she's not a size 2 or a size 0. There's so many other artists out there who are comfortable in their own skin, just like Molia. And I really, really love that. If you have any questions or you want to connect with Molia, you can reach out to her. She's on every social media. She's on Instagram under Molia. She's also on Facebook under Molia. And then she's also on SoundCloud under Molia. You just heard it here, the voice and who she is as an artist and herself on Riri's talk show. And with that being said, we will come back after this.
Let's start off a little personal. I'm out in VA doing my thing, and ain't nobody stopping me, yeah. And can't nobody copy me, 'cause I'm original and established. If you're gonna compete, you better make sure you have it. See, since I was just a little kid, let me tell you how I used to dream big. I would grab a pen and paper and draw it out, walking out to 3 cars in my dream house. Now catch me on the East Coast, doing what I love most. See, music is my everything. I used to dream big and I went hard. Now it's happening and I made it real far. Ain't giving up, I see from the top. Big is how I do it, ain't ever gonna stop, yeah, yeah. I ain't giving up, I ain't giving in. I'm gonna do me and I'm gonna win. There's no way in hell that I'm stopping now. Halfway there. So dream big and go hard. Dream big and go hard. So dream big and go hard. I'm only halfway there. Halfway there.
And I definitely want to thank the artist, Molia, here, born and raised in San Jose, for gracing us with her presence on the Riri Talk Show, because I believe this is the first, and we got it first here. Riri Talk Show. Thank you so much, Molia.
Thank you for having me.
Wow, everyone, wasn't that such an amazing segment, spending some time here with our lovely, gorgeous artist, Molia. And I love the fact that she has an amazing message for the young, aspiring artist who wants to showcase their talent, their gift. And her message today to you all is to be who you are. And if someone is trying to change you, and putting on, some glamorous, face or clothing and whatnot, and trying to make you be someone other than yourself, then it is not who you are. To stand firm, and I always say, step up, stand up, and speak up in order for everyone around you to know who you are as a person by valuing your morals and the fact that you have a huge fan base looking up to you to be an example. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the big message here is to be authentic and be real at all times. God bless you all, and take care of yourself. Bye.